defender around the Jets receiver. So all Mike White had to do was not go on the football field and intentionally impersonate Zach Wilson, and the Jets would have won the football game. And that is the indictment on Robert Saleh. He had the first Patriots game to learn from. He should have done it in the first Patriots game. He failed to learn from that, and he did it again in the second game, leaving Zach Wilson in. So after the game, Robert Saleh said that it was the furthest thing from his mind to bench Zach Wilson and put in Mike White or anybody else. Okay, something happened subsequent to that where maybe it was Joe Douglas, maybe it wasn't. Joe Douglas picked Zach Wilson number 2 overall. So possibly it wasn't Joe Douglas who got to Robert Saleh's ear. Maybe for once, Woody Johnson stepped in and said, I'm not a football person, but even I know what I'm seeing here. Put in Mike White against the Bears so we can win this football game so our defense doesn't give up on this team.
Okay, well, it's interesting you say that because Saleh didn't get up on the podium yesterday and say, Mike White's our quarterback. I mean, once you make that decision, once you make that proclamation, there really is no going back. He didn't say that yesterday. He's just contemplating. He's thinking about it. It opens the door, certainly, for a much shorter leash. He's sending a message to Zach Wilson. It sounds a lot more like it, right? You do need to be saying the things in the post-game press conference when we have a loss like that doesn't divide the locker room, and you do have to take culpability and you do have to play better. But here he was. I mean, what do you think? Did he not play better in the Buffalo game the previous week? I mean, he had over 70% completion rate, right? And he managed the game. And again, didn't have a turnover. And oddly enough, as many times as he threw what looked like to the Patriots defense, he didn't have a turnover in this game. Does that mean anything to you, or are you just ready and believe Saleh's turning to White within the next couple of days?
It would take what Zach Wilson did against the Patriots on Sunday to undo all of the goodwill that he built up with the Buffalo game. Yeah, he didn't play horribly against Buffalo. He played unhorribly enough for the Jets to win that football game. But none of that matters anymore. It doesn't matter that he had a fourth quarter drive against the Steelers, and that led to a win. It doesn't matter that he managed and stood out of the way to let the Jets win the football game against Buffalo several weeks ago. Okay, all that matters is that he knew exactly what was on the line with this Patriots game. He knew what he had to do, and he knew what he had to not do. And he failed to do his job. He demonstrated that for some reason on the biggest game of his Jets career, the biggest Jets game certainly since the Buffalo game at the end of the 2015 season, and possibly the biggest game since the last Jets playoff game, whatever that was, 150 years ago, that he absolutely was the proximate reason that the Jets did not win this game, that they're in last place rather than first place, that they are 0-2 against the Patriots head-to-head instead of 1-1.